All right, well, we have 2 minutes, so for the official start time. So we have to wait the 2 minutes. I brought my glasses.
Hi, Adam. I apologize to everyone that I'm not there in person, but I don't want to give you my cooties. It's pretty bad.
Oh,
Keep your germs to yourself.
keep your germs to yourself. That didn't sound very sympathetic.
That's my intention.
A pen?
You know, I had two in my hand when I was starting to walk down and I said, why do I need two pens? So I bought one away.
I have this one, but I think
Oh, thank you.
you got it.
Yes. I think good. Because that's what my wife tells me.
For 20,
Have you talked to our
Yeah.
police chief friend?
Well, that was budget.
I haven't, no.
That's
I
good
haven't,
question.
Don't forget to
had a
mention
chance
me.
to go back with him.
Don't forget to mention.
No, absolutely. I love the small drones.
They just had a shooting there the other night. In Binding, where I used to live,
Really?
over off, I used to live on Furlong, which is almost all the town or anyone, just to get to the freeway.
See,
All right.
what's changed?
All right, it is
Yeah.
3:30.
And, yeah, go ahead.
I will call the meeting to order by visual roll call. All the committee members are here. So that is item 1. Item 2 is the budget overview. Adam or Regina, I turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. So we're coming down to the home stretch here, and the intent today is to go through the budget as we've been doing the last few meetings, and answering questions from the committee members. There's public comment, happy to take public comment. Let the committee members pause when time is appropriate for any public comment, and then the intent is, we'll probably have some tweaking that happens between this meeting and the council packet going out tomorrow. But the intent is for us to have a discussion on the budget on Tuesday night, and we'll be seeking council approval. And so I'm going to turn it over to Regina, and she can walk through the budget where we are today. And worth noting that at last meeting, we went into, there was questions from the committee from the meeting before about some of the details. We reviewed those details from at last week's meeting. Last week's meeting was recorded, so if anyone is interested in going back and watching last week's meeting and reviewing the details as the committee had done in various accounts, they are welcome to do that. I also, knowing that this meeting is also recorded, would encourage members of the public, and of course, the other 3 council members to reach out to Regina directly if they have questions. And obviously, we love receiving questions prior to the council meeting so that we can incorporate that into the presentation and or be prepared to answer questions that we receive in advance. So with that, Regina, I'll have you enlarge, if you can enlarge that a little bit, and then have you kick us off.
All right, Adam, here we go. So this is the overall general fund budget. You will see for fiscal year 23-24, we are not in as bad of shape as we were the last time we met. We received the vehicle license fee payment in for $634,500. $540. We received it yesterday, so that amount is reflected in here. We're still missing about $500,000, 400,000 from secured property taxes, and 100,000 for business licenses. I'm not sure why business license is down so much, but the secured property tax, I would anticipate a payment from the auditor's office any day.
Did we
Um,
ever have a discussion with HDL on that, the business licenses?
Well,
This is
we-
Kim.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I think that, if you remember, our number one sales tax producer was, roughly 8% below, but I think market-wide, HDL had reported that the sales tax, across the Bay Area was down. And I want to say that was roughly 8%.
Okay.
That's sales tax, so that's not business license.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
gonna say, yeah,
Sorry.
because we were gonna talk to HDL, I
Yeah,
think, and
so yeah, that's a good question. No, and thank you for clarifying that, Regina. We had, their conversation was regarding sales tax. You're right. We did not talk about, business license fees.
okay. All right, sorry, Regina, go ahead.
That's okay. And then on the fiscal 24-25 side, that ending revenues over expenditures, that item went up substantially. There were some updated police department expenses that we needed to make sure that were included in that. And that was the new dispatch charges from Concord PD, the new animal control charges from Contra Costa County, and $34,000 in radio leases. So that's why those two bottom lines have changed somewhat drastically since you've seen this sheet last. We'll go on to the revenue budget. Other than the $634,540 for the vehicle license fee on line 1 here, everything else has stayed the same. With the exception of the last line, that last year you moved $113,000 into your general fund to make your budget balance. This year, we haven't done that transaction yet. To
For the
move it,
well water, it's at 0. Like, is that, shouldn't it be at something?
you know what, Jeff? I would like to dig into that a little bit deeper. You don't have any well water usage charges budgeted from last year, and I don't understand why. But yet you
But-
received almost
we get money.
$18,000.
Yeah, I believe Oakhurst for sure uses the city's, pays to use city's well water, because
Okay,
the only reason I know that is because the line broke and then.
Okay.
So they definitely do. I think, I don't know if there's others, but regardless, I don't think we need to go into too much detail, other than like, if we have a run rate of approximately some flattish amount, we can just put in the run rate, you know what I mean?
sure. So we could put in an $18,000 or $20,000 line item there.
So other in lieu, which is 101,5205, what is, it was for 175,000, now we're at $59.
Mhm.
What is that other in lieu?
Kim, in an agency that I'm used to, that would be all the other monies that we would receive from other agencies that weren't budgeted. So I'm not sure what that 175,000, what they were anticipating that 175 to be. I can look
Okay.
into that more.
Okay, is it possible that we have more money coming again?
Or less.
Well,
that-
we're
yeah.
budgeting 182 for.
Yeah, but now it's like basically 0.
Right.
It's
I will
59.
look into that.
We're in lieu.
Okay. And then the business licenses we talked about, we're not sure why they're down like 110,000. Okay, that's an HDL conversation. Building permit fees, let's see. Anything else? Anybody?
And jumped in.
Looking. Don't forget our cattle grazing fees. That's our annual $10,900. Okay.
Right, now we'll go on to the expenses.
And I did have just one, oh yeah, to expenses. I have
Okay.
a question on when we get to expenses.
Okay,
Thanks, Regina. Go ahead.
expenses have pretty much stayed the same since you've seen this since last week. There are a couple things that I do want to call to your attention. There is currently not a police lieutenant budgeted in the salaries and benefits because that position has not been added onto this city salary schedule yet. So
Right.
if and when that time comes, we will bring that back as part of the addition to the addition of the police lieutenant. We will also do a budget amendment to add that salary structure in there.
Are we planning on doing that? I feel like I keep getting
No.
these answers.
Not
Not
right,
right
planning
Yeah.
on doing it for a year and a half, but it keeps getting kicked down the road for one reason or another, but.
Okay, because I know we haven't talked about it. So Regina, my expense question was, it sounds like we didn't get the April expenses, right?
That
What is this current through March?
you know what? No, I believe this is through April. This was year to date as, yes, this was as of May 30th at 1:15 yesterday.
Okay,
Year to date actual column.
yeah, the
Mhm.
year-to-date
On the
actual.
expense side.
So you said it hasn't changed much since the last one, but we were gonna try to get the April. So you think it has?
The-
It doesn't include?
yeah, we
Wanna look at
by
my-
not changing much, Kim, meaning that there hasn't been anything drastic. Just the additional expenses for the last month.
Okay, and it has gone up. The last
Right.
one was 1856 and we're at 1979.
Mhm.
Okay. Super. Anybody have any questions on expenses?
I have a few, like, so for a few line items in the salary benefits section, things are budgeted to go lower.
Yes.
Things like
wh-
long-term
What I'm
disability.
seeing, Jeff, is that it was double budgeted. So for example, you have an employee, a maintenance employee who primarily works out of your LMD fund. You're going to see the expenses budgeted there. But then they put the whole entire budget in your general fund.
Or like double the
So
thing?
I've been pulling those back.
Okay.
Glad she caught that.
Benefit in. So does that affect like benefit insurance also? That's going down?
It affects all of those intangibles, if you will, the workers' comp, the FICA taxes, all the benefits.
Okay.
Purse.
I mean, just because these could be big numbers, like, are we sure that it's not also a transfer in out to cover that it's in two places?
I haven't been able to tie those numbers together. I am
Okay.
seeing transfers from LMD to general fund, but it's not tying those benefit numbers. It looks
Okay.
to me like it's more of a general and administrative tie-in.
I mean, for a reasonableness check, not for this purpose, or not for right now, but in general, a reasonableness check would be to apply all of these statutory things like workers' comp, FICA benefit, and then figure out what the percentage over wages is and see if it's pretty close. If it's pretty close, then you're good. If there's something weird, then it'll show up that way. So typically that's what I would do to do just a sanity
Okay.
check. Because like FICA employee portion should be employer portion 7 something.
Yeah, everything is kind of down in the. Okay,
Yeah, so FICA here is at 10%. Well, no, I forgot overtime, my bad.
And also on things like electricity, right, there have been 22% increases and is 3%, excuse me, enough to be budgeting for next year when we know, I mean, certainly all of our climate tech stuff has not kicked in. It's not, some of it's not even in place. Are we budgeting enough for that? There have been like 3 increases just this year, right?
Right. And what I would propose is that since we're not over budget for this fiscal year, to let that 3% move forward. When we go and look at the whole entire picture with the mid-year budget review and the ACFR to see the trial balance, to see where the city is as a whole, this will give your new finance person, your assistant city manager, administrative services director, finance guru, the opportunity to give you a big picture and do a budget amendment at that time if needed.
Yeah, I think it's worth sharing this again, because we weren't live when we had our first meeting. I think that what Regina and I shared with the budget and audit committee then was, this is a condensed budget process. Normally, this is 4 or 5 months of a process. And so I think what we're trying to communicate to the council and to the public is this is really your bare bones basic budget. We've tried to identify areas that can be adjusted one way or the other based on your actuals, based on your staffing levels, based on community's expectations. And so I think as you look at this next budget cycle as a 12-month process versus a normal 4 to 5 month process, we'll come back to council with some discussion and seek direction, which could include budget amendments. And so there also, could be some additional savings. There can be additional reprioritizing projects, and that's kind of the task that's ahead of Regina and I. Once the budget's approved, that's why we're kind of pushing to get the budget approved sooner, so that we can work on the council's goals and priorities and turn that into a implementation plan. And then that's where you would look at some budget amendments to align your implementation plan with your council goals and priorities, which then could also reduce some of the costs associated with things that don't fall into the council's goals or priorities that we've just been doing year after year, because that's just how Clayton has done it, which most small cities find themselves kind of, this is just how we've always done it, so we always do it. So I think it gives us an opportunity to align the council's goals and priorities. And in that case, you'll be doing budget amendments, which traditionally would happen normally near the end of the year. With your budget, you may do this after the first quarter or in the middle of the second quarter as staff brings information back to the council.
Okay.
And we may be wrong. Some of these estimates that, where we've reduced it, as we continue to uncover, information, we may have to come back and say, no, they just billed us late, or they were, I know the chief was having a situation with one of our vendors trying to get them to invoice us timely, and then the invoice shows up and it's more than we were expecting,
Right.
or it had been lost track of. So things will happen in this first quarter that will probably give us a better idea of where we're heading.
Okay. And the only other question I had on the expense side was that, again, the other professional services at 255,000, which is kind of where we are year to date. Did we do any kind of dive into that?
Yeah, we looked at what was in there.
Everything that.
There's a bunch of one-time consulting stuff. That was-
And
it was mo-
Jim, where you're gonna see that cost savings is up in your regular salaries. Because you've had to
Okay.
bring consultants in to come handle some of this work that you normally would be paying salaries out for.
Okay, but we identified about that 255,000 in services, okay,
Yeah, it's large, most of it was one-time stuff.
okay.
So I have a few things that I think maybe could be taken down a little bit on the expense side.
Okay,
Rental leases, like, that seems a little high.
okay.
That is that radio lease.
Yeah,
Was
so,
inadvertently not put in there last year, so we took it out of reserves, so we built
Yeah,
it in this year.
but is it, we purchased a bunch of stuff or no?
It's a payment plan. I think this might be the 5th and final year of the payments that's coming up this year.
Okay,
So
For
For the
Jeff,
radios they
I thought we
purchased.
covered it, but okay.
Jeff, to
Yes.
that point, it did remain pretty close to flat at 27,000. We just added the police radios to make it the 51.
Okay, so there's other payments,
that's the
so
radios.
there's other payments for 25 remaining? So I thought that they had finished, but I guess not, that's fine. Okay, education and training seems a little bit, and then
Another 10 grand.
yeah, other professional services, I think in the 255, we looked through that detail, but I don't know why we would have 78 here. I think that could probably be cut in half.
Okay,
The surf charges. What is this one again? At the very bottom, 96.8.
Oh, yeah,
That's the police vehicle, and that also, Mitch just forgot to put that in last year, and so we had to take it out of reserves as well. They're supposed to be in there last year as well.
Because that's the vehicle. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I think it's for the vehicle,
that's a new police vehicle?
correct. Well, I submitted it and didn't put it.
Okay.
So that-
And
that's
then-
longer here.
Crossing guard services, like,
That's way up.
did we get
16%.
a updated rate from them? Is that what's
Yes.
pricey?
Crossing guards, it's interesting because a lot of people don't know that the city pays for that.
Well, we're one of the few cities
Yeah,
left.
we're like the only city
Right,
left, maybe
and
there's one other,
But
yeah.
people want all these things for that area that they cover the council over lunch to do. They never once mentioned, thank you for paying the $55,000
Mhm.
to keep kids safe.
Yeah,
I mean, that was, when I was here 20 years ago, that was a huge argument with the council and doing that stuff.
one of them we got rid of, and
I know.
I persuaded them to put it back
Mhm.
my first year.
And we went to a company, right? Used a company because we
Yeah.
used to use
The third
regular
party.
citizens that won't do it anymore. You can't find them anymore.
So that is going up
Okay,
almost 17.
But that's something that you don't have to do, that you do it.
I know,
And you never hear from the district a thank you or anything.
Mhm.
yeah, well, you don't do it for that.
I know you don't, but it should be recognized.
Education training, I know that's important, but I don't know if we keep it flat, that.
Does that include all education? Because the police should get reimbursed. Use your separate.
We get reimbursed, but it goes the revenue side, so.
Oh, it
doesn't-
goes general,
Yeah.
part of the general. Good.
So,
And that dispatch is accurate, chief, that 356?
Yes.
It's going up 5%,
Yes.
okay. I knew animal services was going up. 30%.
You know, that's an argument that a lot of councils argue with the county.
Animal services.
It costs us a fortune for hardly any service.
Yeah, but you need
something.
you need
Yeah,
something.
you
They
can't,
have a brand new director now.
they do.
Maybe it's the time to sit down and talk about,
They came and presented on their
Did they?
fee structure and it felt really bad. Like to me, it
Well,
was
when
so
I was there
expensive.
in
And
February.
then we looked at what it would cost for us to do it ourselves.
no, we can't
And
do
it
it.
felt
Yeah.
even worse.
only Antioch does it.
Yeah, and they regret it every day.
Yeah, they do.
It's run by the police.
They tried to
department.
schedule a meeting with us, the interim director did, but it was just as Brett was leaving, we couldn't line up a time for the three of us to meet, and so it never
Yeah.
happened.
But maybe with the new director
Yeah.
now, I think that would be worthwhile, so we understand what that includes.
Can we go to a fee for
Services.
service model?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah,
That'd be good.
I'd rather do a fee for service model with
Yes,
that. Like, so I'll pay a premium because it's gonna be lower.
I'm assuming we're part of the JPA, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, as much
Yeah.
as this is
I know.
a healthy
Right.
conversation.
Right.
yeah,
Not
Not something
today.
we're
Yeah.
able to change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
okay,
Yeah, those are the only things I identified. So I think, so just to recap, the rentals leases I'd probably take down, the education I'd probably take down a little bit. Crossing guard I'd leave alone. The other professional services I'd probably take down by
Yeah.
half.
yeah,
The vehicles, so that stays.
So, sorry, on other professional services, when you say take down by half,
Like,
from. go
half
from
of 78.
yeah, like, I don't know what, I mean, that's basically just pure consultants.
Well, the only thing is, we don't know what we're going to need,
I just think that's.
when we
that might
still
be a
have
little-
open positions.
Yeah, but the open positions fund themselves, like
Yeah,
the
that's- I'm not
vacancies.
worried about the open positions,
Yeah.
it's just the additional support you need based on your one-off type of.
Well, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
HR services,
Yeah, I mean,
consulting.
Regina, I think it's fine. I think what, you know, what we've kind of talked about, in the bigger picture here is as we come forward with special projects,
You need to amend the budget at the same time.
we could look at using
Oh, and
those are
cut to
one-time
council.
monies, using reserves, so.
It's the
we're
same-
taking it
yeah,
out
it's the
now,
same thing.
later.
So I would,
Quarterly. report,
yeah, to the
right?
extent,
That's what we
yeah,
said.
exactly, to the extent that we know some of the things,
You're talking about the 78.
yeah, exactly. Everything else I think is fine.
Well. I don't know, do we know everything that we're going to need?
No, but we never will, so if
Right.
things, if, as things come up, I would say that, we evaluate them on a case by case, and then contemporaneous with approving the thing, you approve the appropriation. You don't need to appropriate it now, is what I'm saying. If
Yeah, a good example is gonna be with, our engineering services. We're gonna be asking Larry to take on a little bit more of a coordination role with the maintenance division.
Right.
So I've asked him to give us two options, one, keeping the fee flat. What would that reduce on the engineering side? And then showing us with no reduction on the engineering side, the increase on the maintenance side, what would that cost be, so that we can then bring that to the council for the council's consideration.
Okay. You don't have that yet, though, right? Yeah, okay.
No, this is reflective of probably at least what council recently. approved. Okay, Regina, I think there are questions at this moment have been asked. You want to move us up forward?
Sorry, I was on mute, so I wouldn't cough you out. The other point I want to make on the budget is that there is talk about a potential cost of $250,000 for a trails assessment. That is not included in any of these budgets. And that if and when that time comes, we will come to council to get approval to get into contract and do a budget amendment at that time.
Great.
Kind of like what we've
Said
been
that
talking
last
about
time. Yeah,
with these other items.
right. Because all we really have budgeted for now is to move the RFP process forward.
Yes.
Correct. Next item is landscape maintenance district. And we have a balanced budget here.
No, that's zero. Okay,
We're transferring $45,000 from landscape maintenance district into this general fund to help with some of help with the general and administrative expenses.
from general fund.
Where does that reflect,
Maintenance?
where does
Yeah.
that show in the general fund?
Yeah. Under expenses.
Right here.
Oh, I see it, okay.
Mhm.
Can I ask a question? Why do you need to transfer the 45,000 when you have a maintenance director? Superintendent? What help does that person need?
No, so this is just a funding source. So what this is all the costs for wages go into general fund.
Mhm.
But as they spend money or they spend time working on things covered by the LMD,
Mhm.
then essentially the LMD needs to pay for their time, so it moves
Oh,
the.
They move it
back.
over.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
accounting.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, good with that.
Let me just.
Actually, this budget looks pretty neat.
Is the big capital spend in 303 the road work? I can't think of anything else that would be that expensive.
Oh, are you on capital?
Yeah, sorry, I moved.
Okay.
Because I thought we
We've
were done.
moved to the next page.
I did.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Following along. Yes, that is something that I've been working on with Larry.
All right, so sorry, I jumped ahead.
Regina, just want to make sure that Ken doesn't have any questions.
Sure.
No, and the only question I had was, again, the project program costs in LMD is what? Do you know the detail on that?
Second from the last.
Okay,
That's like a
so
place.
I did some research on this, Kim, this last couple weeks, and there have been no expenses for both the landscape replacement plants nor the project program costs so far this year.
Okay, so is the program cost, do we think it's like an administrative cost of managing the fund? Do we have any idea what that is?
I think it was a carry forward from prior where they budgeted for certain significant projects, so they had like PM work here. But if there's no big projects, then they just don't need it.
25,000.
Yeah, that could probably just go to zero.
Are we gonna do that?
Yeah, I mean, I would put it
Yeah.
to zero.
That was my, I think, only
Okay.
question. And replacement plans, yeah.
I mean, we should replace plans, so
Yeah, we've got 15,000
we may not
budgeted.
have done it, but we should. Or it just may not be attributed to the right line item.
Well, they've been catching up, so there's some, there might be a lot of activity this month.
Alright.
Yeah, I would be reluctant to move that 25,000 anywhere if the time comes where we're in January, we're doing the mid-year budget review. you have your finance person in place. They're working on this on a regular basis, so they're
Okay,
understanding what the expenses really are. At that point, if there really aren't going to be any project program costs, you can transfer that 25,000 over to the replacement of plants or any
Well,
other
wha-
line
What's
item.
the harm in just reducing it down to zero? Like, we have no projects that would call for this type of work on the horizon that we know of.
Okay.
And we had zero in the current year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's reasonable to say, let's start here, and should a project come up, then we include in the appropriation of a project the appropriate level of PM work.
Okay. So do you want to
That's what I would do.
do you want to put that 25,000 somewhere else or just put it over to
Well,
fund
no,
balance?
because that's, I mean, it's nothing. It's just a budget, it's just a budget expense. It
Right.
doesn't, it's
Okay.
not real. It can just be zero.
Okay.
and the other question I had was on weed abatement services, 7445. We were at 215,000 last week. We said we added in 100,000 for fire hazard weed abatement. But now we're back to 115.
I mean, you could throw
Do
the
we know-
25 there if you really want. I think that's
Yeah.
where it's gonna get the most use.
Okay,
Okay.
and then we'll still be,
Yeah,
that is balanced.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a perpetual fight against weeds.
And that
Okay.
one we did get started.
Yeah, I saw.
So they're
good.
on it now.
Okay.
That is the Sisyphean task.
Okay,
That's good.
that's. We're doing a great job this week. Okay. Any other LND questions? Nope. Okay, special revenue,
Special
Uh,
revenue, page 1. You have your development impact fee, your capital improvement, your capital equipment and replacement, and your successor housing. The development impact fee, that is derived from NBS. That's your consultant that handles that. Your capital, yes,
Do we cap vehicles? We don't cap vehicles here, right?
Wait, what?
We don't capitalize vehicles. I'm assuming no, right? Okay. That's good. And then this has to be the road work in 303. It's the 2.4 mil.
so. And I'm sorry to backtrack on this, but I'm thinking about the new police vehicle in Surf. Are we budgeting at all for new vehicles in maintenance?
So we had a little bit of that conversation last week. And what the chief is helping us with is that we're gonna come back to the council with probably 2 or 3 options. One
Okay.
option that we left the last meeting with the feedback
Lease.
is leasing.
Yeah, leasing.
And the idea is at some point, we electrify the maintenance vehicles, but we need to have the infrastructure in place, so if that's 2 or 3 years out,
Got it.
it makes more sense versus going out and buying another, gas, fueled car.
Right.
But we'll come back with that option too,
Okay.
there may be a phased approach and if getting the infrastructure in place starts taking 4, 5, 6 years, well, then we get the life of the gas vehicle, we resell it, what have you. So we'll give you 3 options, we'll give the
Okay.
council 3 options. But, there's a lot of merit in going the leasing route. We just want to make sure that
Agreed.
it pencils out.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. Sorry to backtrack on that one.
Those vehicles are relatively new though, aren't they? The new
Police?
one I see, they
The
look new.
maintenance vehicles?
Yes.
No, not the
Most of
maintenance.
those are pretty old.
Maintenance,
Yeah.
maintenance.
They're
Oh,
like,
no.
they're beat up,
From
like
the
literal
90s.
budget.
I don't think from the time I left until the time I came back, I don't know.
They
if I bought a single
changed?
truck.
No.
Hush.
Yeah.
That's like when I was there.
Yeah.
I thought they just looked nice. Maybe they wash.
They're a little beat up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're starting to spend money repairing versus.
Oh, yeah.
More frequently, right.
Those guys gotta put out the safety cones a little different though, because I almost run into them. I'm just saying, like,
They have a lot of codes up today.
yeah, today was good, but sometimes they don't even put up cones and they're standing in the median, like right there. I'm like, dude, I'm going to Something bad's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
they've been doing a great job this week. Okay, project costs. And, I'm assuming like this capital improvements, this is some of this based on Larry's forecast that he presented to us.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and he has a separate staff report. I was just seeing if I could pull it up.
Okay.
Separate staff report on CIP that's coming the same time as the
Okay.
budget, so
Okay,
you'll have enough to look, you know, at that level of detail in his report. But I believe it's mostly streets, yes.
and he did a
Next
10-year
year.
forecast last year, which was terrific.
Is this is for next year?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the same way.
An equipment replacement.
I know it's there.
Okay, I think we can go to, oh, I really need my glasses for this one.
Grove Park went negative this year.
What's that?
Grove Park went negative this year. What's that?
Where
You
you,
know, we're on to the next page.
The
of
next
special revenue.
page.
especially,
Mhm. Well, is there anything
no-
in there that?
Yeah, we don't show budget on this one, so it's hard to really.
is Grove Park in there?
Yeah, the
It's
district,
211.
211 at the
Second from the
top.
right.
Oh, there's,
It's not 100% lined up.
park looks great.
Mhm.
My wife and I walk every morning there. It looks really good.
Regina, is there anything that you want to walk through on any
That-
changes or?
There's nothing major on this one, Adam. At this point, it was me pulling some of these funds out so that they made more sense and they were easier to read on one page.
Right.
Well,
And again, we've got other professional services in, 201, 220 and 211. Oh, and the 217 to 615
That's probably engineering.
engineering, we think.
That, yeah. it's
More
gotta be
than
a
likely.
Portion of engineering.
Yeah, just confirm that.
Okay,
Tree trimming, weed abatement. What weed abatement would you be doing in the Grove? I'm sorry, but it's not a big park and 15,450.
I think that's zero, Kim. I think that is above.
Oh, am I
tree
looking at the
trimming,
wrong line?
I think.
it's tree trimming.
Oh, it's tree trimming. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I need to do this. Cause it's so tiny. Oh, yeah, gotcha.
I can't even. And I have glasses on. What the hell?
I brought the wrong glasses. I brought my park glasses on my clothes.
So there's
That's
just
what
weed
my
abatement
fault.
in that,
Yeah,
the other
Oh,
funds, got it.
the 15,450 number shows up in multiple places, so that's gotta be like a rate times hours.
Yeah, it's a capital outlay structures and improvement too, yeah.
It's also in the streetlight district as well.
Oh, yeah,
What I think it actually is last year it was just budgeted at 15,000. A flat,
Yeah,
oh, so it's a little bump, yeah.
yes, and I added 3%, so now it looks weird at 15,450.
okay.
Got it.
Yeah, this is, the rest of this is pretty straightforward, I think. Favorite, the GAD.
And grants is running at a deficit also. The 230 fund.
Yeah, the grant should never be negative.
Yeah, why would that be negative? 102,000.
I will look into that.
Okay,
That's gotta be placeholders. like computer support for grants. Weird.
Okay,
Okay,
are you gonna look at your assessment districts?
okay. And again, neither of these have any escalators in them, correct? Right, they're.
That's
um,
correct.
Right,
You know, the street lights maintenance, is that just replacing the bulbs?
no, it could be
No.
replacing the poles too.
They get hit and the people have to make restitution, is that included somewhere when it just goes in the general fund?
No, it would go here. But we're lucky if we collect.
Those poles are like $1,000, aren't they?
1,500, I think.
Went up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're lucky if we collect.
I know.
what's that?
We need a,
No, I think it's
we need like a
15,
bounty hunter.
plus the
Small
labor.
claims.
Yeah,
We don't have time.
I know.
It would cost us more to get it. That's why you do it on contingency. Split it, let them go nuts.
so again, just a quick question in regards to climate tech and neighborhood street lighting district. Once we find out, you know, now that we've converted all of our streetlights
This
to
electricity
LED,
number should go down,
that electricity number should go down,
at least
Right.
incrementally.
and Larry's gonna follow up on
Yeah,
that.
so that
yeah.
could save us from this one red number here at the bottom.
Mhm.
Yes,
Street lights are nice.
Yeah,
and
They light up my
then,
neighborhood.
and then this, is there a water? No, just
not in
a
these
gas
districts.
and electricity?
Yeah,
Okay. And street sweeping. So street sweeping comes out of stormwater?
yeah, because it's to prevent waste from
Oh,
going
like,
into,
okay. I just didn't know if it came out of somewhere else
Yeah.
too. Okay.
required to
Mhm.
sweep, prevent all the debris from going into the collections.
Okay.
It's a private contract, right? Go by once a month.
I don't know the cadence, but
It's about once a month.
And last question on these two, do our street lighting district and stormwater assessment, do they have expirations, like at some point?
Yes.
Like, how do we
we,
go
we,
back?
we renew them.
We renew them, but we're not renew them at any kind of there's no escalators, right?
No, the renewal allows for like, I forget what it allows for. It allows for something and we do it to the max.
Oh, it does allow for something?
It's not enough.
Flat year over year over year, okay,
No, it's not enough.
so.
One of them, I think is flat and the other one has a very small escalator and then, but either way,
Is there a way to
Okay.
change, or how would you change that in order to keep up with expenses?
you gotta go to the people and get a vote, 2/3.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, 2/3 vote.
Okay,
It's a Prop 218.
Yeah,
Prop 218, thank you.
the suggestion about turning off every other light is,
Some cities try that.
Yeah, I
People
know
get
that.
really
years ago,
mad.
many of them
Yeah.
do that.
If you're the ones without the
Safety.
light, you're mad. Yes.
Okay, oh, we're going to your favorite, did you say the
yeah,
gas?
yeah.
I never liked this thing. I never understood it.
You pay it,
All right, you're making me pay it.
me personally,
Get on
I
the
pay
council,
it.
I'm gonna deny it.
me personally, I'm making you pay it, that
I
$10.
just thought I'd make you feel good, you know.
Okay, so gas.
There's nothing, I think we beat the gas to death,
We beat it to death, yes, we know
We're
where we
gonna-
stand.
yeah.
Kind of correct mistakes past councils made.
Well, we'll fix this one way or the other. Either the people, you two live in the GAG, will agree to fund it appropriately or not.
I think we've reached the end of this packet. So
So I think there'll be some minor puts and takes, right?
Yes,
So, and then for year to date, like we're showing here this 590, you mentioned about 500 still coming in. How fully baked is this year? I mean, this year to date isn't really, Well, that's not for this conversation, but maybe for another time, we can talk about the regular cadence, so.
So if 500's coming in, you're saying it's really like a 90,000.
Well, so far, but you can't tell because there's going to be movement.
And then,
There's
well, then you also have.
Going to be
May.
movement in this year-to-date column until about July 10th. When you have your
Yeah.
books closed for this fiscal year.
Righty.
This doesn't
Hmm?
look very.
And then-
doesn't look too bad.
And
That
then,
number doesn't. look
oh, go
that
ahead.
bad.
That's very good. That's your question. And I want to ask about 2020.
Gina, forgive my ignorance, one, a revenue, one, what is it, 1015601 interest? So you're taking all the interest that's being generated in the various investment accounts and assigning it to all the various budgets, correct? Is that how we're doing this?
That's correct.
Okay, and then you're increasing that by 4%
Correct.
for next year. So I'm, looking at, there's a fair amount of paper that's maturing in the next 12 months. That's going from 56 basis points, 61 basis points
The 5,
to 5 and some change. So that's a pretty substantial number. And also year to date, I would hope, how accurate are these numbers? Again, this is through April and we're running behind. Does that mean, one, either there's that much cash, and I know we talked about that this is something that needs to be dealt with, but there's that much cash lying around sitting in UBS's bank deposit program that pays us nothing. And is it the estimate, and I appreciate being conservative, but frankly, I think that number is gonna be more than 139,000 this year. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of paper that turns over. And rates are not going back to zero.
Frank, I think that this was an exceptionally conservative budget as we started this process, and with the interest just was not enough on our radar, trying to get all the other pieces dialed in, that as your new person comes on board, your administrative services director comes on board, that is something that they'll definitely be wanting to take a look at.
Gotcha, yeah, and then we'll see that the number comes in better, because like you said, we're only through April, right? So interest is only through April.
Right, we're only reconciled through April. Some of the expenses are up to date through May, but reconciliation for revenue is only through April.
That paper's scattered, right? Throughout the year.
Yeah.
And like every month, something's
There's
maturing.
a fair
It's
amount
laddered,
coming due sooner. There's paper that's already.
But you're correct, because at my HOA, our board, we have something come up every quarter and the numbers are going up.
yeah, we ladder
The
it, so.
nature of not on you, Regina, the nature of the conservative investment, the estimates were, the prior administration was on, the rates are going back to zero. Ken.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So,
No, they're not.
so do we, when things are maturing, I mean, I think you guys have been in place for maybe a month. Have we,
Wondering.
because we need to give direction to the folks, right? Have we done that or no?
Not yet,
Yes.
but I have connected with the person from the last call. We're gonna do
Good,
next week.
okay,
Okay,
I just need to get past the board. Getting past the-
yeah.
yeah. And then one other question, Regina, on the revenue budget for the cell tower lease. We do have one or we don't have one yet? I thought we approved one, but it never came to fruition.
We approved the seeking of one, the pursuit of one,
Right,
and
but we're
we, and,
budgeting 40 grand.
no, and we had one already,
Oh, and we had one already, so
Yeah.
this is a real one?
yes. Yeah, we already had one.
That's a cell tower at the park.
I don't know where it is.
I
Yeah,
do.
we had it for years.
Yeah, we definitely have one.
Oh, yeah, it's at the park up
They
there.
asked to buy us out
That's a
every year.
lease agreement though, yes?
They want to get out of it, and we keep telling them, no, we want the money.
Well, they want to pay it off.
Yeah.
We started that, we got out of that, they gave the police department these brand new Motorola. that you can talk on as a two-way and also make phone calls.
Totally cool.
Okay.
They gave it to us for years,
Yeah.
free.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you weren't
Okay.
suggesting that there's a second one in the mix?
No, what-
We had authorized
We
the
authorized
prior
pursuit.
folks to say, hey, if you see an opportunity, go do it. And I think there is opportunity, but someone has to be able to chase it down.
You know where they put that? They put it at that AM PM station, that Crooker
Yeah.
and Clayton. It's a tall one. They had talked about putting it here, but the hills block a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right. But I think we approved, yes, go forward, and that there were some good leads. I
Yeah.
just don't think
It
that was
didn't-
followed up on. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And we're saying that the interest number is
Probably
conservative.
conservative,
Yeah,
but that's
okay.
fine. So then the delta is gonna be what? Seen as a transfer from general fund to make it to zero? It's got to,
Transfer?
yeah. I mean, it has to, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
So when we look at last question, well, I should never say last question, but because I always have so many, but when we look at the budget for 2024, 2025, right now, we're looking at that 295 number because of primarily dispatch fee increases, animal control and radio leases.
15% increases.
Well,
And
that we
salaries.
had in there already, like last week or whatever, right? But
We've
yeah,
already,
yeah.
right, but yeah, but
got it,
You're talking from like a couple weeks ago to today, not
Yeah.
overall.
right.
Yeah.
Kim, you're correct. It's
Okay.
primarily the dispatch service, animal control cart charges, and the radio
Yeah.
leases.
Yeah, over there,
Yeah.
And those are
Salaries
something
were
we have
already
no
in there.
control over.
got it. Thought so.
Just send back to county. They charge them. more too.
Okay,
Cool.
and then the only other question I had for you earlier was just, and I don't know if balance sheet was the right word or. Just, I wanted a sense of what do we currently have in our reserve account right now?
Like,
Do we know
billing
what
us?
that
Hello?
amount is?
Quarterly. So it's probably one.
Not in the investment account. In our reserve account,
Yeah, that's not on here.
do we know?
Other than your fund balance, because you have your fund balances on here.
Oh, there it is, ending fund balance for 7.7 million.
At your
Oh, okay.
beginning,
There,
It's
that's
always
it.
been around 7.7 million.
Yep.
So what you
Okay.
see in the investment account, that's just everything's thrown in there.
Well, no, I know that's,
but
yeah,
it's not
Okay.
Broken up here.
so that's what we have in reserve.
Mhm.
Okay,
And
every one of
again,
those funds has some type of a fund balance on there for you, Kim.
got it.
yeah, sorry, I wasn't following the question, but Regina, just so, you know, I understand this based on the draft staff report, you know, this is roughly 2.5 million, you know, more than what is required.
Right.
Oh, you
I
mean
think
fund
we said
balance?
2.7 in March, but 2.5,
Right.
correct. We reduced it to 40, so 40% of, mhm.
So you got
2.2.
2.2 is what you're supposed to have, and you have 7.7.
Yeah, okay, so significantly.
So significant, and that's what I was trying to ask earlier in my email. I was like, am I using the wrong terminology?
Doesn't the law say 90 days cash, the state law, California? Do you have to keep on hand or
No.
30 days?
I took over state at 0, so I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Not here, not here, yeah, not here.
I know where.
Right. So just in, because I wanna, help frame the narrative on Tuesday too, right? That here's where we are, but we do have very healthy reserves. We think we're being very conservative on our investment policy. The sky is not falling, right?
Right, and I think that, you know, past councils, past administration has recognized that the good news is you do have time, like, because of the reserves. The bad news is that feels like we're, not addressing, all the needs.
Correct.
And so I think that's why looking back at the council's priorities and objectives gets us focused on the council's and the community's needs.
Right.
And then you'll make decisions based on having a healthy reserve to start spending those monies based on those priorities.
Those priorities, capital improvements that right, exactly.
And in the big picture, it feels like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money, when you start looking.
And
at
it's
capital.
finite
If you're
too,
spending
right,
on
yeah,
capital projects, right?
right,
And you're looking at making your streets or your sidewalks or your storm drains or address your landscape, aging trees, more trees, less trees, fire danger, addressing all, so when you start prioritizing all of those opportunities, then you're like, okay, well, we also need to, as Larry has done, look at it 5-year, 10-year, plan. So you're in good shape. But you can't be comfortable living in, in this type of situation, and part of it is once you can stabilize your staff, and you get back to a more consistent staffing level, in longevity, as you have in police and maintenance, then you'll start seeing, some real benefits back to the community.
Yeah, I mean, this 7.7 is a direct result of a combination of overtax and underspend
Yep.
over many years.
That's.
And not paying your employees. And new employees won't take that anymore.
All right,
got it.
Anything else, Regina?
That's all I have for this afternoon.
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
I will
I'm-
see you all in person on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.
Meeting at.
We will
Yes.
adjourn the meeting at 4:30 on the dot.
Is she interested in becoming our finance director?
The position isn't posted yet, so.
Yeah. Would she be interested, you think, Adam?